What's up guys, NepentheZ here and welcome back to another episode of The Road to Glory. Today I'm actually going to be in some skill games for you guys today, showing you the efficiency and effectiveness of the new, not the new, but the now useful low-driven finesse shot now that timed finesses have been patched. Before we get into that, I feel like I want Leighton Baines. I have a feeling that we're going to get some good things this week, so with that being said, I don't know if I want to do him now. I'm going to kind of just have a look to see if I can do this Baines with items in the club. I have got a lot of really good untradables off of just everything we've done over the last like 3 or 4 weeks. I don't have, however, many English players. I've got that Kyle Walker and that Daniel Sturridge, but that's it. I don't mind using Kyle Walker. I reckon people would get probably a bit triggered at me using Kyle Walker, but at the same time, I don't really care, because he's never going to fit in my team, ever. I have flashback Juan Fran. I have 86 Lala. I could get Carvajal if I wanted. I'm not going to do Carvajal, definitely. For me, although Carvajal would link to positives about Carvajal. He would link to my Rafael Varane and my Gareth Bale strong links, which would be great for chemistry in that regard, especially then with, like, you know, Raul being able to link in there as well and just give good chemistry all around. The other positives Carvajal is it is an upgradable item. It is a live item, and so should he get another inform or 2 or 3, you're looking at him going from, you know, an 87 right back up towards a 90 rated right back. The issue with it is, for the 140,000 or so coins that you're going to pay, you don't get any packs in return. He's not better than what I currently have. I personally think Juan Fran is just much better. In fact, let me have a look at Juan Fran's in-games on FUT. I know I could look at it on here, but I want to like have a visualization, and that's something that EA need to add into FUT as well, is a comparison matrix, so I can compare them side by side. So in terms of pace, 2 less acceleration but 5 more sprint speed on Juan Fran. Shooting largely irrelevant for the pair of them. Passing, Juan Fran has 83 base passing, far more vision than Carvajal, 1 more crossing, more free kick accuracy, but doesn't matter. 1 less short pass, 2 less long pass, but much more curve. So the passing is very similar. Obviously, Juan Fran has 4-star skill moves over the 3-star of Carvajal, which is good. Juan Fran has 85 dribbling over the 83 of Carvajal, with more composure, more dribbling, same ball control, much better reactions, way less balance, and a little less agility. And then in terms of defense, they're very similar. Carvajal is a little better in interceptions and marking, but only by, well, actually interceptions is bang on. Marking, he's 2 better. Heading, he's 6 better. But Juan Fran has better stand tackle and slide tackle from the off. Very similar in terms of the rest of their defensive capabilities as well. So for me, you know, I would need Carvajal to get some upgrades to say, okay, this is worth it for me to pick him up. And the reason why I don't really want to get him is because, you know, EA kind of made these cards about the best players, the guys that have already had some upgrades. And we talked about this in yesterday's video. And somebody had said that, you know, obviously one of the reasons maybe why Werner hasn't had an upgrade for a while is because Bundesliga had a month break. But my perspective on this is, although they do get upgrades from man of the matches and team of the tournaments and stuff like that, and for Carvajal, again, with Real Madrid being in the Champions League and such, he's got a lot of options to be upgraded. Is he actually going to get an upgrade? He has 1 inform so far for the whole of the year. So the likelihood of him being value for coins, for me personally, just isn't there. And so for him, I don't want to do him. For Leighton Baines, there is also something to be said that he is not really good enough to fit into my team. Obviously, I have Eder Militao as my other fullback. With Leighton Baines, I would have the benefit of being able to use him. I know I have Andy Robertson. I know I have, you know, his inform. I know I have Alonso's live item, which will likely get upgraded very soon as well. And that turns me off of Leighton Baines. And the fact that I didn't do Dani Alves was because I already had Juan Fran and Lala. So when I look at my left-back options now with Tierney, with Robertson, with Alonso that potentially will get upgraded, I don't really think I need Leighton Baines, especially with Eder Militao as my current fullback. What interests me about this card is that you get packs back for him. And yeah, as I say, I think I'd be able to do a lot of this for not a lot of coins, because I have so many untradeable golds that are just floating around in the club. It doesn't require any informs, but I don't necessarily think he would be a card that I would use. So I've got Coutinho there, as per other flashbacks and stuff, I've got Jordi Alba that I could happily use as well. There's that Marcos Alonso. I was happy to do Arnautovic. We've got Eder Militao. We've got Alphonso Davies. We've got Otamendi, Verratti, and Boateng from the player picks. But I guess, what is your opinion? You know, if we look at my actual squad here, Baines could slot straight into the squad, no question at all. Yes, I would have to go back for a different left mid, so I wouldn't be able to use Neymar. I'd have to go for a Premier League player there. That would change the dynamics of my squad quite a bit, actually. So in that sense, maybe Baines doesn't work. Or I could put Rooney there on, you know, I could actually start Rooney at cam. Put Rooney on 7 chem in at left mid, Leighton Baines at left back. Although Leighton Baines would even get, in fact, I could just play Neymar on 7 chem. Leighton Baines strong links to Rio Ferdinand and gets a 10 chem over Eder Militao. He's there for like three more days. So I'm not going to make any rushes with it, but I would like to do it. I feel like just because we can get the packs, we'll get another quality card that will go into the team. But at the same time, my team is at that point where getting just someone to change players rather than to improve my team, is it worth 150,000 coins? I don't know. In terms of where I'm at in Foot Champs right now, obviously we get Monday to play on as well. I'm 9-1 after my first 10 in Friday and Saturday. I haven't actually played any games on Sunday yet. We'll play some games on stream later on tonight to try and get up to 14 wins. I might keep playing on. I'm playing good FIFA. I'm playing a lot of FIFA. I'm just not enjoying the game. I think it's just a bit too slow for me personally. I know a lot of people like this patch. A lot of people are really happy with how this patch works. For me, the whole one depth, drop back, try and counter-attack style gameplay, for me personally, it just turns me away from the game. You know, if EA could change that, that would be great. But yeah, we're gonna push on to goal 3 minimum anyway. And then after that, what I wanted to do today, so I will carry on doing live stuff here. I want to show you guys. I've got 3 games worth of gameplay, some good wins there. But I want to show you guys how to do the low-driven finesses using the controller on the screen. So I will be right back. All right, guys. So there's 2 new scoring techniques I want to show you here today. You can see the controller on the bottom of the screen. It's perfectly in sync with the whole thing. So that's where we're at with that. You can test this yourself if you want to as well. If you just go to advanced, attacking scenarios. I don't know what that 1 is on there. I don't know what that 1 means, but I'm just going to go to the silver attacking scenarios because it gives me the best opportunity to show you these. And I can even go in-game and show you some stuff on squad battles as well. But a lot of people are asking me, how am I scoring these goals? So basically, if you do like a regular finesse, I wonder if I could turn the trainer on. If you do like a regular finesse shot, and then as you do it, hold LB. Yeah, there you go. The trainer came on. It does like a low-driven shot. So a regular finesse shot, obviously, you see the arrow just stays high. Once you hit the LB as well, it drives the shot. If you did just hold both arrows at the same time, it would just do a driven shot, right? Which is actually, as you saw there with the ball flying, did that fly in or did that go wide? It's actually like an effective way to score, especially timed. If you can get these timed, the driven shots can be really effective, quite like that. However, the low driven finesse, if you do the finesse shot first and then hold LB, and again, if you can time it, brilliant. If you can't, no problem. You finesse it and you literally curve the ball around the goalkeeper. Now, I had talked, I was showing this on stream. Somebody, there was a Reddit thread on it anyway, but literally about 6 weeks ago, somebody had made a post to me and said, hey, did you know low-driven finesses are still in the game? This is how you do them. I'll say as well, they're really ineffective. See where I'm at now, like on the edge of the D? They're not very effective from this area. You got to be like right close, like this area here is kind of where they're effective from. Obviously if the defender's going to block it, the defender's going to block it, but yeah, so a post was sent to me that they exist, and I was talking about it on stream just maybe a week or so ago, and Channy Sports, a good friend and a fellow YouTuber, had said that, you know, according to his resources, according to his information, this shot doesn't exist. So I tried it and tested it and did a few bits here and there, and you can see clear as day, and we will go into squad battles for it, but you can see clear as day that the ball curves, and you can tell even the difference between a low driven finesse like that, where the ball curves like that with Aubameyang, versus a driven shot. A driven shot is exactly what it sounds like. It's just a straight shot. Also, sometimes it gains quite a lot of air. Now, if you can learn to time these, it's even better. I missed that one by a long way. If you can time them though, you could probably do them for a bit further out if you can learn to time them. And they're really good because if you hit them like that off of a skill move or something like that, they just get, it's just really good. It's just really efficient. So for everybody that's been asking me, how do you do these low driven finesses? It's exactly as I'm showing you. You do a finesse shot and then hold the driven button afterwards, and it will give you the low driven finesse. And you can do it from this area in the box as well. It's actually really good right there. You can see that curving as clear as day. If you want to watch this YouTube video in slow motion, you might be able to get yourself a better idea. But I'll go in, you know, you can see the camera here. So in finesse, bang. It's a really good, really efficient way of scoring because the goalkeepers just can't seem to get down to them. So as I say, you're going to see here in today's video a lot of me scoring these type of goals. And when I was scoring them on stream, people just kept asking me, man, how are you doing that? How do you score that goal? And it's really easy. You just got to condition yourself. You got, and I would suggest coming into the attacking scenarios to try it because you might find some good angles to shoot from that you wouldn't have done beforehand. You might find some new ways to take these shots that you wouldn't have done beforehand. And it's just, as I say, it's a really efficient way of getting the ball in the back of the net. The better you can learn to time them, the better it will be. Obviously, taking them with Aubameyang on his weak foot there is not great, but they're a really, really strong way to score goals. Even if you've got like loads of defenders on you, and so when you get to this area, a lot of people let go of pressing you because they think that that again, a low-driven finesse. It was a finesse with the outside of the boot, but it worked. They think that, oh, you can try your finesse shot from here. It doesn't matter. And it gives you now the capabilities to do that low-driven finesse that I just did. So that's the first shot technique that I wanted to show you guys. And like I say, it doesn't really work from super far out. If you're super far out and you're struggling to push in, I would say probably your best bet is still like looking for crosses at that point. Or just if you're from this range here, you know, just a little bit far, I think actually just like regular driven shots are just really, really good. Like just driving that shot like that, like it's just really, really good, especially if you can time them. And obviously I'm only playing here with Aubameyang, and I think this is the regular Aubameyang. I've been watching skills a lot, and he just shoots from the top of the box. He doesn't time it or doesn't finesse it. Literally just gets in, bangs it, and puts it in the back of the net. Obviously, if you're playing with insane players, if you've got your icons, your top-end strikers, your Zlatan Ibrahimovic's and stuff, it's going to be really good for you. So there's plenty of examples on how to score that there. The other one that you've got is the volley. The volleys in this game, and you'll see me score one of these, the volleys are very, very good. Even if you just get to this area again, you flick it up to yourself, it's quite good. Now, you can just chip it to somebody like that, like... You're unlikely going to score too many goals like that, but you can hit volleys, no dramas. If you get here and just pop it up to yourself and then volley it, again, for me it's more about getting into the timed finishing positions. You can even stop here and then bang it. You got to hit the time finish. You got to get. Look at that. I mean, there you go. That guys is an effective way of scoring long range. I saw a few pro players had sent me some clips of exactly what you're seeing here. Just popping it up to themselves, hitting it and banging it in. Sometimes chipping it off and then hitting it and banging it in. It seems to be a really, really efficient way. There you go again. A really efficient way of scoring. The problem I've had with this one is actually getting, like right here, obviously in this scenario, in the attacking scenario, it's very easy for me to chip a ball up to a player and hit a volley because I've got two defenders on me. When you're in an actual game though, it's going to be far more difficult to do that because you're going to have far more defenders on you. And I'm not even timing these volleys. I'm just hitting these. Again, if you guys wanted to go into skill games yourself and test it, I would recommend that. If we time that, yeah, there you go. Look at that, a timed swivel bicycle kick there, and you can pop it up to yourself, hit it, score. It's just a really, that was a red time volley. It's just a really efficient way to score goals now, and it gives you just two extra options anyway. That missed. Look, I still banged that in. Now I don't know who this goalkeeper is. I don't know how we decide who the goalkeepers are. I'm not sure who it is. As I say, I've tried this a lot in actual games, and I'm not really finding. I've scored one, and look at that from Mkhitaryan there. It's just amazing. And again, if you hit it with your own player there, that was a poor. You got to kind of do the standing scoop with it rather than anything else. If you like scoop it up and then hit it, I hit the post on that one. But again, let's try. If you stop here and then you can bang them. You'll find your zone with it. You'll find your zone. But it's a really good way of just scoring goals. But as I say, the problem I'm having is when I'm getting into the box, into these sort of areas, I'm not like I'm tapping square to you. Again, you can watch the controller on the screen. I'm tapping square to just pass the ball. But in this training session here, in the advanced attacking scenarios, I'm obviously not pressed by too many defenders, and so it makes it really easy to latch onto the ball. In a real game situation, you're usually facing, 6 or 7 defenders in front of you. So when you park that ball in like that, you've probably got someone on you straight away. And so I don't think, for me personally, this is a really great way of scoring the goals unless you've just got a lot of space in front of you. But it is just another technique. Look at that. That is a banging finish, man. I did hit it green, another time finish, but yeah, it's just another way to score goals. And then another one there, another great time finesse, and another. I've hit that one wayward. You could do it without timing it. You could do it with timing it. But you're going to see some gameplay from me right now, guys. I don't know how long this video is going to be. You're going to see some gameplay from me now, and in that gameplay, I score quite a few low-driven finesses like that. Quite a few crosses still, because I still think they're effective. And one goal from hitting the cross. See, look at that goal from Aubameyang. It's amazing. It just fits perfectly in there. And then if somebody's not pressing you, I mean, that is insane, isn't it? I actually just popped that up and then hit it straight away. I want to know how I pop that up more. I don't know how to. I don't know what the rules are for how high it pops up. I'm going to have to practice and experiment a little bit more with that. But as you can see here, even just flicking it up to yourself a little bit and then hitting it, it seems to be getting a few goals for me. So it's just a good way to create opportunities, create goals, and score without having to worry about time finesses or anything like that. That's a red time finish. So with that being said, guys, let's go and get into some gameplay, and I'll take a few comments from you guys. There's a time finesse that just doesn't work anymore. Let me try a time finesse actually from range. I mean, they're super bad, aren't they? Although that one flew in. That wasn't even a time though. That's a green timed. That's a good save. But yeah, there you go. That's just a way to score goals. It's like it's going to be hard for you guys, I think, to actually pop it into gameplay. You're going to have to really experiment with it a lot. The low-driven finesse is really easy to get used to. You just got to practice them as much as you can, and there you go. It's just goal after goal after goal with these. The crosses, I think, are more a luxury goal, but the low-driven finesses, really, really, really good, really strong. But yeah, let's go and get into some gameplay, guys, and see how we do in champs. Okay, guys, so as we go into the gameplay, I've actually got 5 more player pick packs to go first, which is where we got the Kyle Walker that you had seen earlier in the video. People probably would have been like, wait, where did that Kyle Walker come from? So to answer some questions, the first one is from Stelios. He says, is headliner Arnautovic worth it? I think if you don't have Ibrahimovic, 100% get Arnautovic. I think he will be very big for you. Also, if you have like a Premier League themed team, a heavy Prem team, I think Arnautovic is worth it. And then if you just have like a whole bunch of excess coins, yeah, I think Arnautovic is worth it. He's nice and tall. He's got 4-star, 4-star. He's got really good stats, of course. He is an upgradable card. He definitely has the capabilities of getting at least another inform or 2, which would take him up even more. I think personally, I think he's worth it. You could play him in at cam as well, and he'd be able to give you a lot of good options because of his height, outside of being able to score from headers, just goal kicks up to him or just kicks up to him, clearing the ball out to him at cam. He'd be able to win a lot of the balls for you, which would obviously be pretty fantastic. And just in general, like with what we've just seen with how good volleys could be and how good the low-driven finesse could be, he'd be a good guy for that, because especially for the low-driven finesse, having the strength and the power to hold somebody off whilst taking the shot could be quite useful. So whereas somebody like Hazard, as good as he is in the game this year, might get bullied off the ball at the top of the box. Arnautovic probably wouldn't. The next comment we've got is from, I've only got 3 more, is from Kep. He says, are any of these promos truly worth it? I think this year we've definitely had a different outlook in regards on what's worth it and what's not. You know, I tried to give an unbiased opinion specifically of when new promos come out. Like today, Leighton Baines came out. I tweeted out I thought it was a good promo, 8 out of 10, decent packs, decent card, definitely up there with some of the best Premier League left backs. And I got met with just a lot of like grievous people, a lot of people that just really didn't like what I had to say, saying that I called Futmus Patrick Van Aanholt terrible, yet I'm saying Baines is good. And I just don't think that they really see from the perspective of where I'm trying to look at things from. Like, first and foremost, you can't get Van Aanholt now. So for anyone that got the game after that promo came out, which actually would have been a lot of people because of the fact it came out before Christmas, those people don't have that card, and so I want to give them the opinion as on Leighton Baines. Second of all, I personally don't think Van Aanholt is good. I think far too many people look at, is he fast? Yes, cool, he must be really good, as something that is important in this game, whereas I think that there's more to it than that, and that's why I compared Baines to Alonso and Robertson, because I think all 3 left-backs are better than Van Aanholt. I think Van Aanholt's very weak, he doesn't have good reactions, I think his defensive stats in general are just quite bad. But because he's fast, people just look at my opinion and just disagree with it. So for Baines, for example, I honestly think if you don't have Van Aanholt, if you don't have Alonso, which most people won't because Alonso was quite an early card, and if you don't have him for Andy Robertson, which I even think if you do have him for Andy Robertson, sell him and get Leighton Baines. I think that would be better. I think that Leighton Baines is a good card to have. I think based on, we've had a lot more SBCs this year than ever before, and I've dumped a lot of coins into a lot of SBCs. Even before we got Hullet and sold him, I had worked it out that we had wasted somewhere, including upgrade packs and all sorts, around 5 million coins on SBCs. Now, I'm a first owner Road to Glory, and I make content off of that. So, of course, for me, I have a different opinion for this series specifically on whether or not something is worth it or not. And that's why I'm kind of up in arms about Leighton Baines. Like, on the one hand, I don't need him. Like, he doesn't improve my squad in any way. On the other hand, I would get a couple of packs on a first owner Road to Glory. I'd get a quality Premier League left back on a first owner Road to Glory that I could make use of. I think after all the time that I've spent on the game this year, after all the SBCs that EA have given us this year, after all the opinions I've taken, both positive and negative from people in the community this year, I actually think what people want from an SBC is one of 2 things. Number one, they either want an extremely good player for extremely cheap, otherwise they disregard it, or they just want like a Premier League player for extremely cheap. So, for example, someone like, or even just like Jordan Lukaku. Like, people seem to be super happy with just really cheap SBCs, even if they're bad. And what my problem with that is, is I think that that's what EA want people to have the impression for. I think if EA released no 20k or 30k SBCs, I think there would be a bigger imbalance on the market for how the coins work. So when they release something, a card that's alright, not bad, not great, will fit into some people's teams, but isn't like blowing anyone away, I think they do that 20 or 30k SBC because I think a lot of people, most of the game, 99.9% of people will look at that and be like, well, I've got 20k, I've got already some of the players for this, I've got 20k coins, I'll just do this. And then what will happen is you'll probably do that SBC and he'll just sit in your club and he won't really get much game time, or you'll use him over somebody that would be better because he's an untradeable card. And I fall victim to that myself. I'm not judging anyone for doing that. I do that exactly the same as well. I build so many SBCs and then I force them in because I'm like, well, I've got him now, I might as well use him. And so for that reason, I think EA do really well to do that. But I think we have discovered more and more this year that an SBC card for me has to be a true upgrade or great value to be worthwhile, or it just has to be somebody that you love. Like I did, funnily enough, I did Gareth Bale because I love Gareth Bale. It turned out he fits my playstyle perfectly, and he was a massive upgrade to the cards I was already using. But yeah, I think, are any of these truly worth it? Are any of the promos truly worth it? I think yes. I think there are a lot that are truly worth it, but I think whether it's worth it to someone isn't based on what I think of it. And I think this is where the confusion between people on social media and my videos, I think that's where it comes from, because when I say something's good, I'm not necessarily looking at it from my perspective or your perspective. I'm just looking at it from a general, hey, coins versus card with packs in return, is it worth it, yes or no kind of perspective. And so if somebody already has a great left back in their club and I say Baines is an 8 out of 10 and they're like, well, no, I have Timothy Marcelo, Baines is trash. Well, of course, to that person, he's trash. But if you're using gold Andy Robertson, which a fair few people are, Leighton Baines is a massive upgrade for you. So I think whether or not a promo is worth it really, really depends on whether or not it's worth it for you specifically. I'm going to talk a bit more as well, so I think I'm just going to leave maybe my team or something on the screen, so I want to answer the last two comments. The next one is from Shloke Joshi, and he says, Nep, you know, sometimes you talk about the same point for like 5 to 8 minutes, which is what I just did right there, without actually saying anything new, right? Like when what you say in the first 2 minutes would be adequate, but you kind of just keep saying the same thing in different ways. Love your content, but please be more concise and succinct so we can get more variety in points at the same time frame. And the reason why I don't do that, the reason why I developed into this kind of pattern of talking about the same point in different ways in the same video is because what was happening specifically in FIFA 17, I would take a whole bunch of comments per video, sometimes 15 or 20, and I would read the comment and I'd say, well, this is my opinion, and then I'd just move on to the next comment, and people would completely misinterpret things all over the place, and it would end up giving debates and arguments in comments where, again, specifically in FIFA 17, the next video would be comments of me having to defend my point from the previous video. And then because, again, I wouldn't just go over, I would just be like, well, this, and this, and then move on. The next video would be me defending points from that video. And so I started having to over-explain myself with everything that I was talking about, so people understood that when I say Leighton Baines is good, that doesn't mean that Van Aanholt is bad or that Alonso is bad or that you should go and do him. It means that I think it's a good card, and then I have to further explain myself to make sure people understand that whilst it is a good card, here are the pros, here are the cons, and so on and so forth. So if I went back to just being like, I've never got more than 20 wins on this FIFA, and I've been playing for years around this level. However, since the patch, I've dominated in Division 3, and I'm currently 14-1 in a weekend league, beating teams with icons and team of the years, etc. I know that it's just a game, but I've always tried to play realistic style football, passing to find high percentage chances. I personally feel that this is a play style that is more skill based and should be more rewarding than having high rated players and just shooting from miles out a la pre. A goal 2 player, if 20 wins is his most, he's, you know, unless he hits 20 wins bang on the nose every week, he's essentially a goal 2 player. He's now saying that this has increased the skill gap, allowing him to play better. Whereas somebody that might be getting 25 wins and has dropped wins might say, well, actually, James, this has decreased the skill gap so much so to the point where you as a gold 2/gold 1 player is now comfortably looking to be a gold 1/elite 3 player. So on the one hand, you could say this patch has reduced the skill gap. And on the other hand, you could say, well, I feel like I am a better player than all of these players that I'm playing, but because of the fact that they can just bang in 40-yard finesses constantly, I was always getting outscored and beaten by opponents that were actually not better than me. So I'd be interested to hear the thoughts of you guys on whether or not you actually think the skill gap has been increased or decreased, and with your comment, put where you finished on average this weekend league and then what you finished this weekend league. Because if there is a pattern of people that had low wins that are now getting more wins think that the skill gap's been increased, and people that had high wins that are getting less wins thinking the skill gap has decreased, that would just be interesting. If the pattern is different, then so be it. But yeah, I don't know. For me, I personally think the skill gap is as follows. I think attacking is very difficult now. I think there's a lower way to successfully score competently. You know, okay, we now have the ability to cross. Well, we don't have the ability to cross. We've always had the ability to cross, but it's come to the forefront now with the finesse is gone. You know, crossing is a very efficient way of scoring. The low-driven finesse is a very efficient way of scoring. And the the volleys are going to become, once people figure out the angles and the timing, a very efficient way to score goals. However, I think what EA have done with that is they've made the defending so easy to the point where there's constantly just 8 men in the box that if you can't figure out how to score, I think you're going to be in a lot of trouble, because defending is remarkably easier. That's my opinion on this. Anyway, guys, that is going to be the end of the video for today. If you did enjoy it, be sure to leave a like, rating, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. But for now, guys, I'm out. Peace.